Hi, everyone. This is Tammy, owner of Worthy, Worth, and Priceless. And today's podcast is titled, What Do You Believe About Yourself? So recently, I got an invitation and I was on Clubhouse. And if some of you guys don't know what Clubhouse is, it is an app that's invitation only and it is on Apple products only. So with that app, it's kind of like an open forum where you can basically talk to people. It's kind of like a open podcast type of room type of thing. And so it's a great app. You can get a lot of information depending on what you're doing. And I usually go into rooms about marketing and branding and like social media stuff and things like that. So I try to stay away from the drama rooms and all that other stuff. But either way, I am currently on the app. It's under Worthy, Worth It, and Priceless as always. So anyway, with that being said, what I did notice was that sometimes being on apps like that or being around people of influence, sometimes I realize that people can really doubt themselves and really not know who they are. Like sometimes you might question who you are if you're in a room of people who are not, or who you might feel as though they are doing more than you are. And sometimes it can be intimidating. The one thing about a Clubhouse, the app, it is very addictive. And I know like once I got on it, like my friend gave me an invite and I think like all weekend I was actually on the app. And it can be overwhelming because like I said, it's like people getting up on a so-called stage and you're being speakers to these people and they're either you're talking about whatever topic or they're looking over your Instagram profile or they're looking over whatever it may be. But a lot of times if you're in one of those rooms, it can be scrutinizing for your own self if you don't really know who you are. Because basically what you're doing is asking somebody to basically evaluate you or evaluate your work, things like that. And so if you're not really that strong, and I'm not just saying about Clubhouse, but I'm just talking about in life in general, if you're not really that strong, people might make you feel as though you are less than what you are. That's why it is important to know who you are as much as you can. Not saying that we're not growing every day or things like that. We are always growing and we always are evolving. But if you're not sure of yourself and you are in rooms with people who you perceive is somewhat better than you or maybe know more than you, it can make you shrink down and maybe think less of yourself. That's why it is important to build up your self-esteem, your self-worth before you get into certain avenues and places. And I realized something about that. It's also like that with God. We want to always get to the next level. And we're like, no, God, I know that you put all of this inside of me and I know that this is where I'm supposed to be. And a lot of times God is holding you back, not because you did something wrong, but he's trying to prepare you for that level. For when you're in that room with the big wigs and you're in the room with the higher ups, so that you don't shrink back and so that you don't believe that you're not worthy of being in that room. I know a lot of you may even felt that way, but God knows what he placed on the inside of you. So it's all about what you believe for yourself. I was in a few rooms, and I will say, to be honest and transparent, I was like, it makes you feel, or I was felt like, man, I'm not doing as much as I could be doing, or this, that, and the third. And then God had to remind me of who I was. So that's why I'm asking you guys the same thing. What do you believe about yourself? Because what I don't want is for you to get into these higher up rooms that you belong in, because God gave you the ability to be in these rooms. He gave you the keys to be in these rooms with these people. And I don't want you to shrink back and feel as though you're unworthy or you're not supposed to be in that room. If God allowed you to walk into that room and have that meeting with whoever, or be in front of whoever God is going to allow you to be in front of, don't shrink back and don't feel as though you don't belong in that room, because God wouldn't allow you to be in that room if you didn't deserve to be there. This is not the time to shrink back. This is not the time to second guess what God has placed on the inside of you. It is time for you to see yourself the way that God has created you and walk with your head held high, your feet planted solely on the ground, and know that God has you. Have your shoulders back and know that God is walking in that room with you. He's going to give you the words to say. And don't let anyone make you feel as though you do not belong. You would have never been able to get into any of the rooms that God is about to open for you, the doors that God is about to open for you. You would never get into those rooms if God did not allow you to get there. I don't care if someone else behind you, beside you, was more qualified. God put you in that room. So when He put you in that room, it is time for you to show up. Show up and show out. It is time. No more shrinking back. No more feeling as though you don't belong. No more allowing anyone else or even yourself to make you feel as though you are unworthy. You are supposed to be in that room because God allowed you to be in that room. He's going to open up the doors that no man can shut. It is not time for you to start having low self-esteem. Don't go back to who you used to be. Don't go thinking, oh, I don't belong. I'm not supposed to be here. No more thinking like that. You've worked hard to get to where you are right now. You worked hard for it. And it is not the time to second guess anything. God knows what you're capable of. And God is going to open up some doors that you don't even realize how you even got into the door. You didn't even know that door was even open. Then all of a sudden, God is going to allow things to happen for you so quick, it's going to make your head spin. But don't get into the place of, oh, I don't deserve this and I don't belong here, and walk out the door. We're not doing that. Not this season. You're not going to shrink back. You're not going to be afraid anymore. You've prayed for this. You asked God for this. And now it's time to walk into that door that God has opened for you. Even if it's a window or whatever opportunity that God has allowed for you to walk into that opportunity. And know that God has your back. You may not even know the words to say, but I promise you, God will give you the words to say. Those opportunities will be yours. Don't self-sabotage yourself. God isn't doing it. He's giving you the opportunities. Believe in yourself. Start seeing yourself differently. Start seeing yourself as the woman or man that God has created you to be. You have it all on the inside of you. You have to believe it yourself. So, as always, know that you have worth, you have value. You have a purpose on this earth. It is not over for you. You are worthy, worth it, and priceless. And until next time, bye.